Hi everybody, welcome back to Law Hero. I've been meaning to film this video for a while. It's basically alternative ways to get a traineeship. And from what I can see from LinkedIn is a lot of people who are doing the BCL clinical, or so a clinical law degree, they are, if this cracks, we are all dead. They are getting a traineeship through doing like placement during third year. I'm seeing that happen. But the big way and the most kind of unspoken way is through the legal internship. Now, the legal internship is usually for first and second year students, and it is primarily done in the summer months. And usually, like, I remember when I was in Cox's, there would be like 30 would come in June, 30 would come in July. There were extra bodies on the ground. They would be, it sounds like an army, but they would be dispersed throughout the law firm. And, you know, like we'd have like 2 in every department kind of a thing. And I still remember the lad that came to ours. I remember several of them. And basically it was kind of the unwritten rule that if they performed well on the internship, that they would be taken on for a traineeship, and obviously the opposite was true as well. However, I never did an internship, so I wasn't really in the know about internships. And as my friend said to me last weekend, and it's something, as my friend said to me, you would only really be able to do the internship had you gone to Dublin and gotten accommodation. Now, the big law firms, they might look after your accommodation, but you wouldn't always get that. So that being said, it was kind of a very privileged thing to be invited to. Also, your first and second year results would have to have been fairly handy, and your application would have had to be very good. Like, you would have had to be one of the top in your class to get in for the internship. Again, I'm not speaking from experience. The only internships I did were on during my master's, and that's when the penny dropped with me that one could do internships, so I was late to the game. So this video is basically about how to do an internship correctly and how to get a traineeship from the internship. So I've made a few notes here on my laptop about things that kind of I think are important. So the first tip is to take every assignment seriously. Now, I remember when I was an intern and I was given some menial tasks like photocopying. I think one time I had to like colour in a map. I was like I was not down for that. I was like, I want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be colouring a map. So yeah, I wasn't down for that. But what I didn't realise was that I was being judged on the body of my work. So the first rule is to take every single piece of work you're given seriously. And like, I've seen this with trainees who come into me, if they can do the small stuff right, I'm just like, here, take the work. Like, I'm the kind of person, I don't want to give work to somebody if I have to go and redo it myself. And like, so if you take me as the average like employer, that's how we feel. We're like, I don't want to give it to them because I'm going to have to do it myself. Like, it's kind of like, do you know when your mother asks you, like, for example, my mother asked me at the weekend to whip eggs, and I don't like doing like I like doing housework, but I don't like doing cooking or anything like that, and I've never really whipped eggs before. So I was just like, whip. I was like, this is so stupid. And she was like, come here, give me that bowl. So like, she literally grabbed the whisk. Yeah, the whisk is the thing with the blades. No, the whisk is the one, like, I'm gonna put up a picture of a whisk. That's a whisk. So yeah, she took the whisk from my hand and she was like, I'll show you how to whip eggs. And she started like whipping them, but she wasn't whipping them. They were like in this circular flow, like a tsunami of eggs. This is sounding really weird, but it was obvious that the woman has whipped eggs before, and it's obvious that I hadn't whipped eggs. So the point I'm trying to make is, like, you don't want that to happen to you. You don't want someone to come over to you and go, here, give me that, I'll show you how to do it. That happened to me early on in my traineeship, and you just don't forget that stuff. The second thing is to attend every event you're invited to. So you'll be asked to attend training, kind of meetups with your fellow interns, all that kind of stuff. Ugh, excuse me. Do not fudge those opportunities. In that, I know you may be introverted, I know you may be like totally done with people after hours, but like I'm telling you, how you solidify relationships is at those informal events. It's the really lousy thing about this profession, but it is a lot of small talk. And like, I struggle with the client side of things. Maybe that's why I became a client. Conspiracy theory. But I love now that we're going for dinner with law firms, because I just feel like I don't have to be the hostess anymore. I can just kind of sit back and be spoken to. But early on in my career, yeah, I had to be quite like out there and selling the business, which actually I didn't really like, to be honest. So the third one is absolutely, please, and like I've seen this from the best of the best, ask, how am I doing? Is there anything I could be doing better? I ask for feedback. I struggle with this a little bit myself, because I'm like, oh, what are you going to say? But it is so important to know where you're going. What's the phrase? If you don't know, if a man or woman doesn't know what course they're sailing. So yeah, as I was saying, you have to know where you're going wrong. You have to ask, otherwise you won't know. Anyway, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted, do not only focus on the person who is training you. And this is a really, really good tip. Like, when you get a chance, speak to everyone you can in the firm. Build relationships at every level. If you're only focusing on your immediate boss, you're going to be in big, big trouble, because then you're putting all your eggs in the one basket. So get to know as many people as you possibly can while you're on your internship. I think the last point is make it very, very clear that you want a traineeship, as in like drop hints as much as you can. Be like, I really want to learn how to be a good solicitor eventually. Like, I really appreciate your guidance. Could you tell me what to do? Like, and can you tell me how I should approach this internship in order to get a traineeship? Like, just set the scene. Don't be afraid. Like, set out your stall. Be like, this is what I want. This is what I want for my career. Like, I am willing to take on the feedback if necessary. That to me, you know, is astonishing kind of self-awareness. And it would really kind of show me that you're serious about being a trainee. Aside from that, kind of other little tips I would say would be like, if you're doing legal research, try and be as pragmatic and, you know, to the point as possible. Try and omit kind of information that is superfluous or like doesn't add any value to your answer. You know, think to yourself that you're like the big icebreaker, like the ship that breaks the ice, and that's what you are doing for your solicitor. You're breaking the ice for them, because otherwise they're going to have to go and do all the research from fresh. So you're assisting them in that way. And I would say, like, ask them, like, in the wider, can you explain to me the wider context of this research? Like, what is the point of this research? Those kind of things would make me say, like, if a managing partner came around and was like, okay, which interns are we taking? I'd be like, definitely her, not her, kind of a thing. I'll give you all one example of somebody who didn't do well with us. Was somebody who messed up. We were putting agreements together and in pages, and we were taking out signature pages and putting in the complete ones, and he messed that up. And it was something very simple, but he messed it up. and like maybe he wasn't thinking, or maybe he'd been out the night before, but like you get one chance to impress. And like I know like I would be quite lenient around that kind of thing, but other people aren't. So just imagine that other people aren't so lenient as me. So yeah, there's like 5 tips on how to go from an internship to a traineeship. I hope it helped you, and thanks for the suggestion, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.